Hello there everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. Today I'm going to talk about Lego Dimensions. Obviously many of you already know Lego Dimensions is my favorite game. I talk about it tons on this YouTube channel, but obviously for new people here, what is Lego Dimensions? And I also really want to talk about what could have been Lego Dimensions if it were to be continued in 2017, 2018, and obviously further than that. Let's begin with the core idea. Lego Dimensions is based on a Toys to Life concept, right? Kind of like Skylanders did, or Skylanders was, I suppose. Back in 2012, obviously Activision launched Skylanders Spyro's Adventure, where you actually could be able to buy toys and figurines to place on your portal, and people collect that stuff. Obviously Disney Infinity continued to hop on that trend and obviously make Disney Infinity another Toys to Life game, where there were 3 games of obviously Disney Infinity 1, Disney Infinity 2.0 and Disney Infinity 3.0 with Star Wars. Same thing was for Skylanders obviously too. We have Spyro's Adventure, Trap Team, Giants, I think also Superchargers, and the last one Imaginators, which I have here at home. But obviously Lego Dimensions obviously had a rise and fall, and especially the cancelled content that was planned for later years of the game were very interesting. Leakers and I suppose developers kind of hinted at cancelled ideas eventually reappeared as real Lego sets later on, which is really interesting. Obviously, what is Lego Dimensions? Like I said, Lego Dimensions was a Toys to Life game which obviously ran from 2015 to 2017, where players used physical Lego minifigures and vehicles on a portal to unlock characters in-game. The game featured huge crossover worlds like DC Comics, Doctor Who, Ghostbusters, The Simpsons, Portal, Adventure Time, obviously Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts, Lego Batman movie, and many more. Obviously, while Lego Dimensions failed, the Toys to Life market collapsed, Disney Infinity died, Skylanders declined, and obviously the trend wasn't really trending anymore. Licensing costs were extremely high, packs were expensive, making the full collection cost hundreds of euros, and obviously in the future, because I was one of those people who did that, obviously I didn't have the money back then to actually buy all these packs. It cost me more than you probably know. Obviously I bought the Sonic pack kind of cheap. I think that was 50 euros when I bought it, and the Teen Titans Go team pack with the Beetlejuice fun pack cost me around 80 euros. Obviously I already had a job back in the summer, so I was able to buy it, because obviously if you work you can get money, and with that money you can do whatever you want, obviously responsible and stuff like that. With great power comes great responsibility, and I bought Lego Dimensions. So I mean, yeah, sure, I worked for it, so I kind of earned it as well. So there we go. Anyhow, the game became too complex for casual players, because you already needed different figurines for different quests or different abilities to have in other worlds, and I kind of get why the game was difficult for some people to collect. Warner Brothers eventually discontinued the game, stating obviously with this letter, I suppose, or this notification, where they would actually stop the game, and later down the line didn't produce any more content. So there we go. Obviously cancelled Lego Dimensions content for obviously year 2 and 3. Examples of cancelled packs, characters or other themes, additional year 2 characters that never released, entire year 3 lineup never officially announced, but there were some speculations, but more on that in just a sec. Multiple story packs that were planned but scrapped, several fun packs and team packs listed in the scrapped content category. The scrapped content category includes cancelled items such as the level pack 71202, fun packs 71218, 71219, 71250, and 71280 as well. Obviously very interesting. 1 level pack, 4 fun packs, and now obviously an upcoming story pack 71243 and team pack 71247, and obviously more, with obviously the Vortag fun pack as well. So there we go. The fun pack for Lord Vortag could have been one of those 4, but obviously that got cancelled, and luckily we got those leaked minifigure parts listed on a website. I'm not quite sure how they did it, but obviously they found Lego Dimensions Lord Vortex minifigure, which is really cool. He looks great, to be honest, and it's really cool to actually see this minifigure being released and leaked online. So there we go. These represent entire themes that were planned but never released. Right, the cancelled themes that later became real Lego sets. Obviously the 1010 Lego set, the Ideas set coming up, which is really cool. It's like a rocket set. But that was originally one of the cancelled Dimensions concepts. We also have Gremlins, which obviously became a theme in Lego Dimensions, which obviously later also got a set together with the Goonies. So there is kind of still a bit of influence from Lego Dimensions in the future of Lego and the IPs that Lego chooses for different sets, because it's still cool that there's still a relevancy, right? People still kind of think about those IPs that they had. Is it because license rights take so long? I'm not quite sure. I'm not really into rights and stuff like that, but somehow, some way, one Lego creative person should have been like, oh wait, maybe, or could have been like, oh, maybe we can actually use this IP used in Lego Dimensions and actually build upon that and build a bigger set, which is kind of cool in my opinion. So there we go. Alright, what could have been, right? The scrapped content, archives, and the cancelled year 2 and year 3 discussions. Lego Dimensions would have expanded with more story packs tied to major films coming up in 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019 maybe, perhaps. More classic television and movie franchises. In my opinion, I think they would have chosen like Star Trek too, because that's classic TV, right? Additional gameplay worlds and hub arenas, more crossovers between franchises, the main selling point obviously. A much larger year 3, which was fully cancelled, which was a shame because there could have been a bigger story going on in year 3. And to be honest, I still lay awake at night thinking about these things, man. Holy shit. A year 3 for Lego Dimensions could have been so cool. Obviously, Lord Vortex was kind of back, I suppose. Some people obviously leaked that Lord Vortex would have been the main villain for year 3 as well, and obviously all the packs would have connected in a way with like the story and the lore. A lot of content was already in development before cancellation. The influence of modern Lego, right? The birth and the death states that Lego Dimensions still influences Lego today. Some new sets in recent years are based on themes originally planned for Dimensions. Lego continues to explore cross-franchise ideas, partly inspired by Dimensions' success. For example, in Lego video games, like they have new Lego video games coming up where some of these influences can be seen. I think Lego Horizon has like Lego Ninjago inside of it, which is kind of cool. A little wink, a little Easter egg to what if or could have been if Lego Dimensions still kind of was alive. Obviously, Lego Dimensions launched during the peak of Toys to Life, which in my opinion, it's like Sisyphus, obviously rolling the ball towards the mountain on top of the hill. It's like kind of cool, but eventually that boulder will go down, and obviously if you have already a peak during the peak of Toys to Life where you have Disney Infinity Skylands and Lego Dimensions, something were to collapse or was going to collapse, right, downwards, and that was exactly what happened, right? It competed with directly competed with Skylanders, Disney Infinity, and Amiibo. Amiibo is still going on. I'm not a huge Nintendo fan. I'm not quite sure how that is doing, but still some figurines are being produced for that. I'm not quite sure. But obviously by 2017, the entire Toys to Life market collapsed. Warner Brothers officially ended Lego Dimensions and no new packs were produced. Obviously, the definite list of cancelled Lego Dimensions themes could have been cool, right? Like I said, Tintin was one of those cancelled franchises, and now we already have a Lego set for Tintin, which is really cool. And Tintin is also a Belgian comic, and I'm from Belgium myself. You can probably hear that in my accent. I have a bit of a different accent than normal, like obviously Americans or British people have. So yeah, it's like more foreign. So Tintin, I love Tintin, I love the movie, and it's really great that actually Lego Dimensions was planning to bring him in the game somehow, some way. So there we go. The other cancelled franchise was Shrek, a DreamWorks adaptation of, the huge franchise. Shrek could have been so cool. Far, far away could have been a really, really cool hub world. And maybe you were to have like Puss in Boots and obviously Donkey as well. And yeah, I can see it. Shrek draws a lot of attention from fans, and Shrek could have been a great choice. The Muppets was also kind of leaked, I suppose. The Muppets could have been really cool. It's also a Disney property, but in 2015, yeah, it was already Disney property. But yeah, it could have been cool because I don't think Star Wars or Marvel could have been introduced in Lego Dimensions from the get-go. I think the Muppets could have been more suited because the Muppets are kind of funny as well, and much more, I would say, childish friendly. Marvel and Star Wars are child friendly, right? But the Muppets is for everyone. Obviously, if you have people growing up in the 70s and the 80s, they grew up with the Muppets, and obviously now you have the most common films with obviously Jason Segel as well, and you have the brand new Sabrina Carpenter special, which aired, I think, during January the 1st or something like that. Probably, it could have been really cool, right? The next one was Looney Tunes, obviously another Warner Brothers franchise, which I totally understand. Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck could have been really cool characters in the game, and I totally see why, because they're now in Fortnite already, and a couple of these franchises are all already in Fortnite as well, which is really cool, and some of them actually have like a Lego fight version of themselves, so there you go. But yeah, the Looney Tunes also had a collectible minifigure series, which is kind of interesting, so there you go. There were also plans for like Scooby-Doo Year 2 and the Lego Movie 2 content. Obviously, Scooby-Doo Year 2 could have included like the rest of the mystery gang, right? Fred, Daphne, and Velma, which is really interesting. I grew up with those 2002 films, and obviously, what was it, 2002 and 2005? I think Scooby-Doo Monsters Unleashed, one of my favorite movies, to be honest. And I grew up watching those, so I'm really excited. I was really excited to see where that will go, or where that was going to go, right? They're also going to make a Netflix adaptation of Scooby-Doo with McKenna Grace as Daphne. So yeah, it's really cool to see some of these franchises are getting a reboot or a spin-off or a sequel, which is really cool. The Lego Movie 2 was also planned. That's really interesting. Because the Lego Movie 2, when it released, it was alright, but not as great as the first movie, and I totally understand why they actually were to make or would have made brand new packs for the Lego Movie 2. You have brand new characters like Rex Dangervest and stuff like that. So yeah, I totally get it. The Powerpuff Girls would also have extra packs, I think, with Jojo, right? The monkey guy. I'm not quite sure what his name was exactly, but I think something along those lines. But yeah, the Powerpuff Girls could have been really cool. We got all the 3 girls there, but yeah, sure. The Gremlins also were to have a brand new pack, maybe from the second film, like the Gremlins 2, the new batch, or the I don't know, the bad batch. It's not a Star Wars reference, but I'm not quite sure. So there you go. Yeah, maybe Brainy could have worked, or like Greta, like the female Gremlin. I'm not quite sure. But a team pack could have been cool to see, and a Beetlejuice story pack, including a Teen Titans Go story pack or level pack. Yes, that was actually planned, and we actually have some footage from those levels seen in the Teen Titans Go fun episode, which obviously was included with the team pack from Teen Titans Go and the fun pack, so as well. So there you go. Obviously, if you were to have bought Starfire or Raven's team pack, you would have been you would have had access to the episode, right? And obviously I watched it. It was fun, but that was actually planned to be a level or a story pack cutscene. So there you go. Doctor Who would also have more content, more levels, and more companions. I understand why, because the Doctor is a huge franchise. It still goes on, right? Doctor Who is one of my favorite shows as well, as of today. So there you go. I would love to have seen some more of Doctor Who content and Lego Dimensions. So yeah, I totally understand why, like Clara and maybe a Cyberman, or Cyberman was already in Lego Dimensions, but Captain Jack Harkness could have been cool to see, or maybe other iterations of the Doctor, like the 11th Doctor, the 4th Doctor as Lego minifigures. But I'm not quite sure how they were actually, how they were going to do that eventually. So there we go. Jurassic World would also have some continuation packs. I'm not quite sure. The other characters from Jurassic World could have been cool, and the Flintstones as well. So yeah, the Flintstones was also seen in Lego Dimensions. So obviously, a couple of these packs could have been really cool to see. Like I said, Tintin was one of the packs that we were quite sure of. So planned as a story pack for the Adventures of Tintin, like the TV series, would have included Tintin, Snowy, and the Unicorn Ship. Cool, yeah. Cancelled with Dimensions ended and later revived as a 2026 Lego set ideas. So there you go. The Muppets would have like a team pack with Kermit and Fozzie. People assume this obviously. A Muppet Theater hub world and cancelled due to licensing costs versus expected sales. The Flintstones, a fun pack with Fred Flintstones, a Batrock hub world and cancelled in early year 2. Obviously very cool. A Man in Black pack was also theorized or leaked or rumored, with a fun pack with Agent J, neuralizer gimmick for puzzles, and cancelled due to Sony licensing complications as well. So there you go. Obviously we also had like leaks that the Minions were to be in Lego Dimensions, which is really interesting because the Minions are still getting sequels to this day, which is really interesting. So there we go. And obviously people assumed that Marvel was going to be pitched, but obviously that was brought up in Disney Infinity, and Disney Infinity blocked it from being in Lego Dimensions, and would have included Spider-Man, Iron Man, and the Guardians of the Galaxy. Cancelled because Disney wanted exclusivity for their Lego Dimensions and Disney Infinity's deal. The Walking Dead was also leaked, I suppose, or rumored. I'm not quite sure. A dark story-driven level, but cancelled because Warner Brothers didn't want mature rated content. And obviously a Minecraft expansion as well. A full story pack with Steve and a Creeper. Cancelled because Microsoft wanted Minecraft to stay platform neutral. It's really interesting because obviously I'm not quite sure. Minecraft is owned by, I think it's, yeah, Microsoft, right? Minecraft is owned by Microsoft, like I said. But yeah, I understand it. Obviously now there is also a Minecraft movie, which I haven't seen unfortunately, but I'm planning to. It's going to be on Netflix very soon here in Europe, so I might watch that as well, and I'm really interested. So there you go. Year 3 would have been the largest crossover in Lego history. We're not quite sure if this was actually the case, but 6 story packs throughout year 3 that could have been, you know, dropped throughout like the year or 2 years. Maybe year 3 would have been like a wave of sets releasing every so and so months. So there you go. 20 plus fun packs, 10 team packs, 12 new hub worlds, a full Lego multiverse storyline as well, a new portal with an upgrade slot, and a villains mode where you play as antagonists as well, kind of like Skylanders Trap Team, I suppose. Why these themes were chosen, right? TT Games selected a franchise based on nostalgia power, toy sales potential, crossover comedy potential, existing Lego relationships, ease of licensing, and this is why you use obviously Gremlins, Beetlejuice, because people grew up in the 80s, liked these classic movies and shows, cartoon icons like the Powerpuff Girls, Scooby-Doo, Adventure Time. Warner Brothers owned IPs like Looney Tunes, Lord of the Rings was easily to get, and cult franchises like Doctor Who and Portal have a cult following to them, and people just love these worlds, I suppose. Another 80s icon that I would love to have seen in Lego Dimensions obviously was or were going to be He-Man in the Massive Universe. I think that's really cool. Obviously still getting a reboot as of today, which is really interesting. And yeah, this is pretty much it for me today, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I talked about a lot of things today in this video of Lego Dimensions, but yeah, I just like the game. I still really like making videos on it because I grew up with it. Like I said, nostalgia is something people can't really forget, and it's still something that, you know, I am so passionate about, and I really want to talk about it when I have the chance. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will check you later. Goodbye everyone.